guest is one of my dearest friends. I can't even look at him.
He's shell shocked. He's got shell shocked.
He's quite the enigma. He has the most unbelievable resume, a plethora of characters. We have loved him as Doofy in Scary Movie, Doug in Ghost World, Dylan, he only portrays characters with the letter D. Dylan in Victor Crowley. Let's give it up for my friend and yours, Dave Sheridan.
Woo! First guest.
The crowd goes crazy.
Can you just untie my hands a little bit? Slow,
No, shut up, Dave.
Let's party!
Never mind. Put the duct tape back on him. Put the duct tape back on his mouth.
Ow!
It's an
Beer
experience.
time! Oh, wait, this is killing time.
Yes,
I'm on the
killing
wrong
time.
show.
We're in the wrong show.
I'm also Ray Dobson.
Dobson.
Yeah, we just talked about that at the Whatnot signing I was doing, because I was doing Doug, and then Bill Burr was like,
Dylan.
all his characters start with D. And
He
I was
does.
like, the worst is, though, when I'm signing and it's like, I'll do Doofy, and then the second most popular, I would say, is Devil's Rejects, and I will go Ray Doofy. I'm like, and I'm like, they don't, like, but I get to the O-O, because there's only one O.
Let's talk about some of these
So
characters,
I quickly
Mr.
turned it
Sheridan.
into a B.
So we decided we wanted to take you out to lunch.
Okay.
Can't undo your eyes. Don't be fooled
Well, now I can't see. It's so
all the
bright.
time. We are at one of, I think it is Burbank's first,
First what?
diner.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the adventure today with Dave Sheridan.
Experience.
The experience. Oh my God. I'm
kidding, I'm
confused.
kidding.
The experience with Dave today is we're going to the oldest restaurant on record in Burbank, and it's called Chili John's. This is an amazing place. This is straight Texas chili, as opposed to funny chili.
Now look, I've never had In-N-Out, and that's over there.
That's a small.
I thought that was the
That's a-
hamburger joint.
No, that's the.
Oh.
No, we're excited.
No,
I've
all right.
never been to Chili John's.
Chili John's.
I love chili, so this is definitely going to be super exciting.
This is great. I got a 2-hour car ride home, and you bring me to a chili place.
That's exactly why we did it.
This is back in the days where you would climb over the bar. You see, that they have this watch your step thing here, because you don't want to. I don't want to do it because it's against the health code now. But they used to step on here and dance and do the chili. It's been here since 1900.
No, this one's been here since 1946. The original one in Green Bay opened in 1900.
This is Green Bay.
Yes, so with the sons, the daughter-in-law had tuberculosis, so they moved to California for her treatment because this was where all the treatment clinics were, was Glendale mostly in Burbank, because we had the best air in the world at that time.
Yeah.
And we had a drier climate. It wasn't 30 degrees below zero, so that's right. The clock is actually from the original Chili John's. That clock is older than the restaurant.
So, but it's been wiped down from the tuberculosis, though, right? Like that's not actually part of this internet.
So, yeah, checking it out.
You are quite the enigma, right? I mean, I don't think the public knows a lot about you. I think,
And that's on purpose.
I know.
that's on
Why
purpose.
Why is that? Let's just ask
I
that
know.
question.
That's why I
Yeah,
really.
why is that?
Why is that?
We could talk about that, but that's why I don't do a lot of these. But you're my two besties, so
We appreciate you
Yeah.
coming on. We knew we had to get you on here. I'm a first of all, besides
big
being your
fan.
buddy, I'm a big fan of yours. And I just there had to be
He
something.
was like cramming movies last night. I heard a lot. Like, oh, I've never seen that one.
Why don't we know?
And I'm a big deal.
Don't try to run away from this question.
Mhm.
Why, Dave?
Yes, if that's my name.
Because we like to go deep.
Yeah, we go deep
Yeah.
on
You
the show.
you know me well.
Mhm.
We're going deep. Why don't we know a lot about you, Dave?
Well, I'm very shy. I'm a very shy person. I'm a private person, and I'm an artist. And so I didn't get into this business to be famous. And I think it really just happened by accident, just because the things I started getting cast in early were just so deep in sort of character. And then I was like, and before that, I mean, my first film I put out on my own was called America Million, where I took on these characters and unrecognizable characters. In fact, we did the show at Second City. I sent you that one review, and the guy goes, it wasn't until near the end that I realized it was a one-man show, that all the characters were the same actor.
Or the same guy.
So when I saw stuff like that, I'm like, okay, that's my bit. I want to be, you know.
You
like
live through these roles.
Yeah.
They're
yeah,
each
yeah.
a part
I just
of
want
you.
to take them on.
You're a little bit Doofy. You're a little bit Dylan.
They're also just people I know. I'm going to be honest. I'm sort of like a terrible impersonator or impressionist. I'm a terrible one. So then I just take on, like, you know how we do our friend Austin. I probably will do you one, but I'll change the name.
Well, you could do the big
like- you could do
swag.
the
You
big
could do the
swag.
big
what was,
swag.
exactly. Hey, it's what is he like?
The big
big swag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you have a little bit of a, okay. There's a little
Yeah.
Muppety thing in there.
A little uppity thing.
Yeah, no, Muppety.
Oh, Muppety.
Yeah,
Yes.
you have a little Muppety. You have a little Muppety thing.
I have right
I
now.
do. Yeah.
I haven't been
I'm a
called,
big
but that's the first time I've been called a Muppet. But
Yeah,
that's
no,
fine.
it's got a Muppety, a big swag.
You
Hey,
are-
It's up in here.
You are very funny.
Yes,
and
I am.
so there must be.
You
must come.
Now you'll never unhear it, right? You'll
You'll
never
never
unhear the
unhear
Muppet.
I hate
You must
when
be.
you do that.
You must come from a comedy background, and I want to dig deep on that because growing up, there must have been something that you loved about comedy.
Okay, so first of all, I wouldn't say I come from a comedy foreground, and then I worked my way into the background of just other, trying to master other aspects of acting or directing or writing or whatever it is. But I was always the class clown up until sixth grade, because I realized I was getting in a lot of trouble.
Sure.
And back then they didn't really give you grades anyway. I think they were like O for
No,
outstanding.
they did give you grades.
S for satisfied. No, not where I grew up. It wasn't A's and B's. It was like basically a plus.
East Coast?
Yeah. It was
Okay.
like O, S,
What would you get?
Oh, man. It was Z for zip it up.
Wait, you're an East
Loudmouth.
Coaster?
Yes.
Oh, from where?
From Delaware.
Nice. Jersey,
Parts of New Jersey.
New
Yeah,
York.
I split Delaware and New Jersey. Yeah.
Okay.
We've had this conversation, but you're like Mammoth area or somewhere like
No,
that.
I
like
know, but the
Rick-
audience doesn't know that.
all right.
Jeez.
He got his Z. He
Yeah,
got his Z
I got
for
a Z.
zip it up.
Yeah, zip it up. But then I realized in sixth grade when I actually started getting work, because we were like, now it's middle school. And I was like, So I did the complete opposite. I flipped to don't talk to anybody, sit in the back and be invisible. Right. And then I realized, I can be invisible, which is a lot like I'm telling you about being famous and stuff like that, that I'm hanging out with her and, people come up, recognize her, and, or I'll go to a movie set after I've already shot a movie with some people and they go, I didn't even know that was you again. Like, no, Dave. Yeah, Dave. Like it's, like this. And I go, I think I can do this invisible thing. And that's when I started doing it in sixth grade, where I got through, now this is before computers.
Sure.
So now I don't think you can do it. But then it was like, you do your work and you pass it up. I would just take it and put it in my book and I would never pass anything up. And basically I passed, but I never turned anything in. I never talked to anyone. And
How
at
does
the end of
that
the year,
happen?
the other students went, because we were at a roller rink, the end of the year roller rink thing. And I go, yeah, the teacher doesn't even know my name. And they go, yeah, he does. He goes, do you know his name? He goes, yeah, I know his name. Yeah, I know who he is. And they're like, what's his name? And he was like, I know who he is. Get out of here. And I was like, yeah, he didn't know.
Doesn't
so
even
then
know.
I was like,
You are
I could
able
just
to
do that and
create
just
these
get by.
characters.
Sure.
So
But no, we're talking about comedy because I love comedy.
Comedy, yes.
I love comedy improv. I'm looking at a little bit of
Peter
your bio.
Sellers.
Peter Sellers.
No, I'm saying like if you want to know the comedy aspect of
Sure.
the more like, this.
Sure.
Right. Like at a young age, definitely
Pink Panther.
kindergarten would have been like the Pink Panther stuff, and
Mel Brooks.
yeah. And then also Saturday Night Live was kindergarten for me. So, and I was just and I wouldn't know about Saturday Night Live. And I have to thank the guy that created Mr. Bill.
Oh,
Because the only reason I even knew about Saturday Night Live at age 6 was because Mr. Bill was a T-shirt and and it was like,
Mr. Bill.
and it was like Gumby. So I was like, and all the kid was like, I want that. And what is it? Like I want that. What is it? And then, it's a show. It's on 11:30, way past your bedtime. So I would always pretend to fall asleep on the couch and have one eye closed, and then this side, and I'd watch
So
it with
smart.
one eye. And then only thing I couldn't
Like
do was
Doofy.
laugh. I couldn't laugh because
'Cause
then
you-
my dad would know
he
that
would know
I'm
you're
up. You know what I mean? And but I thought all of it was funny. And then there was one particular one that I got in trouble on though because it was a spaceship, and there was another spaceship as a Star Trek spoof, and I think Captain Kirk was played by Jim Belushi, and they lost control of this penis ship, that phallic ship with a circular one like 2001 Space Odyssey, and they went into the thing, you know what I mean? It's like, we're going into Uranus or whatever what they were using. I was laughing so hard, and he was like, what? Like, you know, so don't believe it when they say like, you know, because I have people go, we played him Scary Movie at like age 4. He didn't get the adult jokes. I go, oh, yeah, yes, they do.
And that was the beginning of his career.
That was the beginning of, when I saw Saturday Night Live, I said, I want to be on that show.
Now,
Yeah.
you
I wanted to
also
work for that show.
you also did some intern work with Saturday Night Live, right?
I
Or
did.
you actually did some?
I was a Weekend Update assistant, writer's assistant was my job. And,
That's awesome.
And who was the news update?
Well, okay, so
person?
Herb Sargent, and it wasn't Herb Sargent's last year, but he ran the Weekend Update at that point. It was Kevin Nealon's first year. It was the first year after Dennis Miller, and Dennis Miller really set that bar high. And I worked specifically with another writer named Steve Korn, who wrote, I guess it was called Remote Control or Click or something. It's an Adam Sandler movie.
Yes,
That
it
was
is.
Steve Korn's movie.
So
And-
you were writing with all of them. You were hanging out with Chris Farley.
Well, my
I
job
know-
was like I was like the research assistant, because again, all this is this is 91, 92. It was the 25th year of, I got
Wow.
the 20, like whoever works on the show, you get an official show jacket, and mine had like 25 on the logo.
Where is that jacket?
It's in my attic. Hold it up with
Could you
Where
go
it
home
should
and get
be.
it? I just want to see
Where
it.
it should be in the
Yeah.
ag. No,
Yeah.
that's you should pull that out.
Eventually, I'm going to sell all that crap.
So for me,
Pay
comedy
pay for
improv,
some kids
comedy,
dental work.
It's
especially
it's the,
writing, it's a big deal.
It's the foundation.
It's the
for
fact
all
that
of
Yeah.
it.
you know,
need-
we just did
and
a
if
whole
you work with
episode
this
on-
guy,
Yeah.
you have to be on your toes
Did
with
you-
improv.
The turn of the century, all the people on the East Coast would have their summer homes out here because of the air and stuff like that in Pasadena. That's how the gambling house, whatever the gambling house there was from. So they would sleep outside in the porch.
People would actually go back they would close this during the summer, and they would actually go back because that was the only time she could really live there reasonably and to visit her family.
Yeah.
And then, so we were closed usually July and August, and then they would come back in September, and they'd be open for the rest of the year.
Nuts.
Tell my two compatriots here and the folks that are watching our show, tell them about the chili. What makes it different?
Our chili recipe is from the 1800s. It's range chili, so it's shelf stable. It's a suet-based chili, so it's rendered beef fat, salt, meat, and spices. It's cooked for over 20 hours, so it has no water in it. That's one of the reasons it's shelf stable. It at room temperature is basically like candle wax. And if mold starts to grow on it, it's just like a piece of cheese. You can scrape the mold off, and you could just keep going. So chili does not have beans in it because the beans would cause it to spoil. Cowboys had dried beans. They would make a pot of beans. They had no refrigerator on the range, so the beans lasted about 2 days. If you add the chili and the beans together, you get about 2 days out of chili. But chili does not spoil, so that's why. It's like pemmican, but it tastes better.
It was really, they added chili to the beans to make the beans last longer, right? Basically to preserve the beans a little bit, you're saying? No?
They just had dried beans, and that was like one of their staple foods because dried beans are very stable.
Oh, we got it.
But as soon as you like soak them in water and cook them, then they start to spoil within about 2 days. The traditional way with chili is served over beans. They're not in it. The reason that we think that there's beans in chili was because when they started to can chili, they needed something as a filler because salt, fat, meat, and spices are all very expensive things, and they didn't want a can of chili to be like out of price point. People wouldn't purchase it. So that's why that there's beans in chili, because when you put it into a can, it doesn't matter if there's beans in it because it's canned.
What's the best thing on here then?
Ah,
So
I know they're all gonna be good. What's the go-to for a first-time customer?
Three things for first-time person. So Chili John invented chili on spaghetti in the 1800s. In Cincinnati, they invented it in 1912 with the Empress Chili Parlor, so I guess we both invented it, was my theory on it. But we were the first one to do it. And so we're known for chili on spaghetti. Well, the modern oyster cracker is also an invention of Chili John. It soaks up the oil from the chili. They're great in chowder, but they're actually meant for this. And me being a Valley boy, I like the chili dog. My hot dog that I use is a pasture-raised beef hot dog from Northern California. It contains no nitrates, no nitrites, no hormones, no antibiotics. It's 100% pasture-raised beef. It has a natural sheep casing, so it has a nice snap to it. The buns are made at a local bakery. They're 100% preservative and seed oil free. Everything in this restaurant is seed oil free. They're preservative free or artificial coloring free. So my favorite thing is the chili dog, but a go-to would probably be the original is the chili spaghetti. And then the other thing is when they opened the original one in 1900, it was a saloon and chili parlor, and the menu was spicy chili on spaghetti, beer and whiskey because it was a saloon, and then lemon icebox pie, which we still make to this day. So I would say either get the chili dog or the chili spaghetti, and definitely get a slice of pie.
Even with diabetes, Dave,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still will get a slice
Well, you
of the
get a
pie.
Diet Coke.
I love
It evens out.
I do. I get the slice of the pie. One of my favorite things here. Eating a bowl of chili does not affect my diabetes.
No, chili's one of the best foods for diabetics because it has no sugar in it.
I loved it.
Man, now it doesn't do good for me when I get home and I blast the wife out of the house and my dog. People may not know, but you've written for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You've written for a lot of MTV stuff.
He's written a lot of scripts.
I've written a lot of scripts. I mean,
Written
a
scripts.
writer for Viva La Bam, a
Yeah,
punk
yeah,
writer.
Yeah. But that all came from Buzzkill way
Yeah,
before. Okay.
so I was going to get into that. You created one of the first comedy sketch show, I guess, I don't know, comedy punk show.
yeah, like shock.
Like a hidden
Like a
camera.
James
Reality
Kennedy
shot.
exp-
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it was hidden camera, but
Hidden camera stuff.
You know, the big difference, we wore the cameras on us.
Okay.
So we were very mobile.
It was
which
called
that was really the
Buzzkill.
groundbreaking thing that we were
Sure.
wearing. We had to play these characters, and a lot of it was physical. I mean, there was one where I'm in a G-string on the beach, and the camera is in my crotch. It was called Crotch Cam.
Hell yeah.
And people were brought in to be in this Tantastic commercial, like it was for Tantastic. And so there's, and then it would be guys. They'd be like, "Yeah, I want to be in it." And then, great, read the lines. They would read the lines. Okay, bring Doug in. And then Doug would cut. That was me. And then I would take off my robe. And then they're like, "Oh, okay. Hey, it's not balanced. You guys get on your knees instead." So they would get on their knees and they'd be at and we
Crotch
stuffed it.
level.
Right. And they'd be like, "Hey, Tantastic. I put it, now rub a little bit on Doug." And it was on my, you know what I mean? It was like down on my thighs. And they're like, "Tantastic. I love it." But they didn't know the camera was right there. And they're like, "Oh my God." Like, it was
But
really fun.
how do you go pitch that show to MTV?
I didn't have to pitch it. So I remember I tell you about the Americhameleon movie.
Yeah.
And then there was also, so then I went and did Dave Sheridan's Americhameleon live at Second City. And then the owner of Second City, Jason Alexander at the time, then he paid for a pilot called Dave Sheridan's America, which was basically Buzzkill. We just changed the title because Buzzkill was like, yeah, like, or no, MTV was like, let's spitball titles. You know what I mean? So we had a 6-month, you call that option
Sure.
with him. We all went to pitch to MTV, Fox, a bunch of places. So Fox and MTV bid against each other. And I decided to go with MTV because I did have managers at that time. And the manager said, and his name was John Crosby. Thank you, John Crosby, first manager I ever had. Who
We are positive John Crosby's
ran
watching.
ABC. He was executive who ran ABC back in the day for That's Incredible and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
That's incredible.
But he's Charlize Theron, discovered her, Shy McBride.
And didn't you
with
do
Even Stevens.
Charlize first? Like
I did. I
reel?
did her clip reel. Yeah. Yeah. So bottom line was he said, because he worked at networks, he said, MTV, if they pick you up and they shoot 6 episodes, they'll air all 6 episodes regardless. Where Fox will go, "Hey, we're shooting six episodes. After the first one, if it's not playing, it's all gone."
Sure.
So he's like, your better bet is MTV, even though there's less money in it. You know what I mean?
So you do Buzzkill. That's a huge success. It's fantastic. And then comes Scary Movie. Was that shortly after?
No. It took a
Not
Well, my
close.
focus, I'm going to let you know, my focus.
Listen,
That was
bitch, get your dates
1995.
correct.
Was,
Yeah,
Buzzkill.
94, 95. Well, we shot in 94
Yeah.
to air on
and
95.
when was Buzzkill?
Well,
Like late 80s?
You know, if you
early
want to
90s?
go all the way back to college and stuff, I went to school for filmmaking, directing, and writing. And so that's really my passion. It was never acting. When I started doing the acting thing was because in school, in my school films and college, the actors wouldn't show up. So I was like, well, okay, I'll play the role. And I started playing the role. And then that just kind of led into, oh, I have this. And then,
Right.
you know, that
well,
was it.
Second City is a very, very, very
Huge.
famous
Yeah,
thing to be
but
a
I
part
also,
of.
but Second City, my first thing was I directed, and you could go on IMDb, go at the very
Oh, he
bottom.
did. Oh, he did.
It's called the Second City 149th and a half episode for A&E, and I directed that. I directed
Wow.
segments of that. So I was a director there, and then I was the tour manager and director of like the tour co, and then I co-directed a main stage show with a guy named Tom Giannis, and that had like Adam McKay, Amy Sedaris, Steve Carell, Steve Colbert, it was a great.
Hold on, you're dropping a lot of
Husky.
names. Let me
No,
think
I
about
know,
that.
hang on.
I know. I'm
So it's
just
pretty good, like giving
Yeah.
them notes.
Yeah,
and going,
sure.
hey, what do you think of this? But I was also like I was a co-director.
that's great, man.
Do you prefer acting over directing or
No,
directing over
I don't like acting. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, excuse us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is
next
why.
guest.
That is why after
Those
the
honest
Buzzkill stuff, I moved into writing
Yeah.
screenplays for the studios, but also based on the Americhameleon tape. That was just a series of all my shorts that I wrote and directed and edited, but I also acted in them. But it was more about my filmmaking. And Mike Judge and Richard Linkletter got a hold of him, and also Terry Zwiwa. Again, this is before YouTube and the internet, and the same thing with SNL, because everything that I did at SNL was I was reading newspapers, cutting the clips, all the news that even the other writers would come up. I had to select and pick what that's a funny article. That was my whole week, was really
That's crazy.
getting it, running
Couldn't
and getting
Google the
slides at
news.
AP, Getty Image and AP. I had to go.
Wow.
I had to run, because you couldn't even take a cab. It's like the cab will take too long. Dave, you run. So I was a 21-year-old
Yeah.
marathon
That's
runner.
why he's in
Bam!
great shape.
That's why he's in such good shape.
There was
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
the whole and it's funny that it's both Dustin Hoffman, because there was a lot of Marathon Man Dustin Hoffman and also Ratso Rizzo of like, hey, I'm walking here.
Yeah, sure.
So, okay, I just want to ask you a couple of things, but I want to know more about Dave Sheridan. Well, first of all, what's your favorite music?
Like anything else, music with me is fluid, so I'm really all over the place with it. And my background is like punk rock, and rock.
Heavy
But-
metal.
Exactly. But I love, I love 70s R&B and
Boogie Fever.
and I like all the oldies, the real 50s oldies and stuff like that. And then
Are you a musician?
country music. I played piano growing up. I was a piano player. I was second in the state at one point, in fifth grade.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah. My music teacher used to bring me up at school and perform. That was the thing. You asked me about the acting stuff. I did perform, third grade, every year. And then in middle school, I started writing my own plays and stuff like that and performing those.
You're always performing.
Yeah, I'm always performing.
So my real thing is,
But Teresa McKenzie was a dancer. I wrote a play, 8th grade. It was a comedy, Mr. Rogers. It was a Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood thing, right?
Okay.
And but I had 8 people in my play, and we were hands down the favorite at the talent show. But they weren't about to buy 8 trophies. Teresa McKenzie was a dancer, one dancer. So I even figured that out. I go, yeah, she didn't deserve it. We got the tiniest trophy, and she got a big one. I'm like, we deserve to win, but they weren't going to give us 8 trophies.
Well, I mean, we all
Teresa
know that
McKenzie.
you're very high energy.
Never forget about you.
You have a lot going on, because I know that you're very intelligent, very talented. But is there anything you do to come down and relax? Do you meditate?
Well, like I said, I was snowboarding all day yesterday. Surfing is very common because you get way less waves than you are sitting out there. You know what I mean? And then you're out on the beach and stuff like that. I like going bike rides.
You do stay in good shape.
And I like looking at clouds and staring at plants and stuff like that. I am a people watcher, and that's where I get in characters. I am a detailed person, but I enjoy being around plants a lot more than I enjoy being around people. I'm sorry to say that.
Or animals?
I love animals. My dogs are fun. I'm good with them. I feel like I have a connection to
The
animals.
dog whisperer?
Yeah.
My question is for you, and I'm sure a lot of the people, we have actors that watch our show, coming up with some of these characters. Now, in the 2000 with Scary Movie, did they tell you about Doofy? And or did you create that character?
So again, on the Americhameleon tape
Yep.
is a character named Chip.
Okay.
And Chip is based on 3 people in my neighborhood growing up. In fact, I shot the short films in my neighborhood in Delaware at this gas station that Tony Radio, who was one of them, and I did do the radio thing. Tony Radio that's where I always saw him, at this Chevron station. The other 2 were Bruce and Adam. And Adam really, not much, but Doofy was a lot of Bruce. Like the smell my finger thing was because Bruce
did that?
Bruce, no, he's a big Phillies fan. And so he's always decked out in Philadelphia Phillies stuff. And then he'd go, hey, how about them Phillies? And then he would say he'd go, high five. But he put it right there. And we'd be like, get the hell out of here, man. And like, yeah. So
Smell my finger. Oh, what the hell is that? My ass.
and that, yeah. If you're in the Philly area, people talk like that anyway. Yeah. I'm talking to my sister on the phone. She's like, yeah. But the shorts had a radio.
It is a funny
I was
story, though.
repeating everything I hear on the weather radio, like slightly cloudy, chances of rain. So the whole thing with Richard Linklater and Mike Judge, they saw the American Millions tapes. Again, no YouTube, so everything was VHS, copies. And they brought me in for a meeting, and they go, it was another character named Stuart, who later became Doug in Ghost World.
Sure.
They said, we want to make Stuart, like, we want to do something with him, make a movie. And I said, I have an idea. It's a demolition derby movie, et cetera. And so we went and developed it. We brought it to the Weinsteins, and they bought it. So I got paid to write a script, and I already had my acting deal in place and all that other stuff. And Mike Judge co-wrote it, and a couple other, there was a lot of writers. When you get in the studio, writers start getting added onto scripts, but it was mostly me. And that was my very first script without a screenwriting application. I wrote it in Word on my first Mac laptop with a little ball.
Oh, yeah.
And no spacing. I went and met with Matthew McConaughey, and he had the script behind him on his desk, like through an interview. Then he goes, wait, that? And he went, and he looked through it, and he was like, right here. He goes, I love this script. It was years later. Like, I'm talking almost 20 years later. It was like, what? And what worked about it was I didn't understand screenwriting. So I just wrote, it was more like as if, Mark Twain. If you told Mark Twain to write a screenplay, he wouldn't know how to write a screenplay.
Sure.
He just writes.
It's
you know?
raw. It's raw.
Yeah. And so that's what people liked about it. So we're going into production, and it was called Stuart and El Camino Love Story. And they said, hey, if we're going to go make this movie with him, he hasn't been in anything. And they're looking through their slate of what they're doing. Let's get him in something else before so that we have this other movie coming out.
This wild.
And then they watched a guy named Peter Schwerin, who was an executive at Dimension Films. He watched American Million, and he saw the Doofy character I talked about, Chip.
Yes.
And he goes, what about this character? And he showed it to everybody. What about this guy for Doofy? So they did have the Doofy character because it was based on Dewey.
Yes.
And they went, oh, we love that. He just needs to go meet Keenan and get approved. So I was like, all right, awesome. And now this is in LA. They're in New York. And I had a beeper, like a pager.
Oh, God, the pagers, yeah.
And so I drive. It was
what was it, 99? 1999?
Early 99, probably like April or May, because then we went and shot in August.
Mm.
And since I had Chip, and at that point in Chip's development, because I was changing Chip as we moved, he was a Hulkamaniac fan. Because I would shop at Goodwill's. And so anytime I saw Hulkamaniac, anything, I had the hat, the t-shirt, a satin jacket. It was Hulkamaniac satin jacket, a big fanny pack, the shorts, the pull-up socks, everything. It was so funny.
You went in like that?
I went in like that, and with those Velcro shoes, and I was just full-on Doofy. You might as well say I'm full-on Doofy. And I met him, Keenan, and they're like, you got the size? I purposely was like, I'm not even going to work on these. I was just like, yeah, okay. And I was doing that. Hey, give me five. Okay, where am I going to go? And I was facing backwards and just doing everything wrong. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, thank you. And it was just quiet. And I was like, okay. And I was like, man, I nailed it though. That was awesome. And I get in my car, I'm driving, and I see this 212 number. Paging, and then it's paging again and paging again. I go, oh, and I knew it was them. I go, oh, okay, I'm going to call them. They're probably saying like,
it's
great
the
job,
Weinsteins.
blah, blah, blah. And I had to put $1.50 quarters. I'm digging underneath my
in the car,
in the car for the quarters. And there were still payphones around a good amount at that point. And I call and they're like, what the hell happened? I go, what are you talking about? And they go, what'd you do? And I was like, oh, I went in there as Chip. It was brilliant, man. I was like committed to the character. And they're like, no. They think we sent in some like special needs kid. You gotta go back there. They're freaked out. Go back in as yourself. You know what I mean? And show them, and I go, okay. So I cleaned myself up and I walked back in. Now here's the thing. I didn't have any other clothes. So I'm still walking in the Hulk Hogan stuff.
Hey, got the fanny pack. Yeah.
So I took that off.
You drove to the audition in the full, like most people.
It's commitment. It's commitment.
What was I going to do? Change in the
He's
car?
very committed. Trust me.
That's great.
I've produced many a movie where this man plays a character in the film, and I've gotten calls from wardrobe that are like 911, 911.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have the yellow sunglasses he wants, and I'm like, Dave.
But that was one of the early
Shut
ones.
the up, okay? I don't care about your shorts, your hair, your glasses. He's like, but they have to be perfect.
Wasn't that your first film I did with you though? And so then I realized, and I know it was a problem that they were like, what does he need? And so that's why I said, you got to give me the stuff. I need to know sooner what we're doing. And I will just buy. Which
is great. Look, I
great.
love it. I'm joking. Your commitment to character, your development of your character
in Macabre Mountain. I just put it all together myself. I didn't rely on.
He is a master at creating a character, but he has a very specific
I didn't create
look.
a character. Ian is Peter Valderrama or whatever that guy's name is.
Okay, so
I love you, Peter. That's why you should love the movie.
Okay,
we've
done 40 projects together. 40 projects I've done with him.
What?
Yeah, 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know.
40?
Yeah, and
how many?
And she's getting like an award every year at Fangoria. I don't know, like Felissa Rose, they should be like lifetime achievement working next to Felissa Rose. I mean, am I going to get that at some point?
How have you lasted that long?
Yeah.
In all those movies?
I might just get a real chainsaw. They're like, don't really use it, Dave. Here it is.
Don't
chainsaw.
Well, did you already order yours, right?
Yeah. Make it look like you did.
So you know what? I'm going to go with what she got. The
Chicken and rice?
Chicken and rice, yeah.
Always.
Regular always?
Yeah. You asked me what drives me, I think, or what
makes you tick.
What makes me tick? I'm 56 right now. And I was...
Well, not yet.
I was a goofball in school. You would say, I think I was the last generation where they'd give you the dunce. I sat in the corner with that dunce. And the ruler, getting hit with rulers. And that's in public school. But I wore a hat that said dunce. And then I think in fourth grade, my fourth grade teacher would just lock me in the bathroom because it was like a bathroom. It was they called it a lavatory. And I was locked in there. My third grade teacher put lockers or whatever, file cabinets. He made my own room with file cabinets. I was packing in. So that's the kind of student I was.
You were a Z student. Zip it up.
That's why I basically said I'm gonna try zipping it, and then I was like, wait a second, I'm not getting in any trouble.
Is there anything that makes you cry?
Everything now at my age makes you cry. Like,
why? Why do you say that?
I don't know. You start getting more sensitive when you get older.
That's true.
So what is it? Like, what makes you cry? Like, what is in your day? Like, what will all of a sudden be like a moment where you're like, oh, I'm taken by this?
Struggle. Some people's struggles and stuff like that. And it's not, and it is. I feel for them. But what gets me is like then how blessed I am. Does that make any sense?
With gratitude.
I'm almost choked up right now. Yeah. Like I see that and I wish I could help them. But I'm like, man, my life. So no matter what your problems in life, there's always someone that has something way worse. And at the same time, you have one blessing outnumbers 8 problems. You might not have more blessings than problems, but one blessing is 10 times that of any group of problems.
I agree. You've done a lot of movies with the Wayans too. I wanted to talk about that. So you've been involved with these guys since Scary Movie.
I'm counting.
I think
it's
11.
Like 9 or 11.
Yeah. And then of course,
since Scary Movie. They did skip over me on White Chicks, which is actually the irony.
The
That's
ironic
thing is that's a girl who works on theater.
That's my favorite film of theirs.
That's
White
funny.
Chicks.
White Chicks is very funny.
I'm not in
Great
it.
movie.
So I yelled at them. I got mad.
Some of the other stuff you've done, Devil's Rejects, of course, which great movie with
that came out of Ghost World.
Yeah.
So Rob Zombie saw Ghost World, and then he told the casting director, or it was either Ghost World or the Red Hot Chili Peppers, because from Ghost World, then I portrayed the character again in 2 music videos for the Chili Peppers. He might have saw that too and said, "Oh, get this guy."
Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
I just Googled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Holy shit, of all these years. By the way.
See, that's what I get a lot at the table.
By the
A
way,
lot.
that's a song, by the way.
a Victor Crowley poster with Dave next to me.
Right.
And they're like, I love you, Victor Crowley. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Such a good movie. And I'm like, did you like Dave? And they do
They're
this.
just blank face.
He's
Well,
in it,
yeah,
and
what
I'm
did
like,
he
and he
play?
looks just like this.
Yeah.
He's not wearing any crazy
And then I
costume.
go, I'm the guy
I'll have to
that
put up this
kills,
photo of you
I'm
and
the
John
guy that kills
Frusciante.
Victor Crowley at the end. You know what I mean? Kane's an easy kill, by the way. Just saying. Did you see it? Weren't you going to watch it last night? You didn't watch it?
I
didn't
watched
watch
it. Yes, I watched the whole series, and I did watch it last night. To
He
be,
loves
But I
He's
didn't
funny.
even have to sweat to kill him.
Well, listen,
but I did bleed.
you've done a lot of stuff, and I think the fans appreciate you too, because I wish I would have looked earlier at a lot of the stuff that you've done. But
Can I just say something about
Yeah, go
why
ahead.
Stewart is my favorite? Is because it's the one that really got stuff going, and it was also a part of the Dave Sheridan's American Chameleon, which led to the Dave Sheridan show. It clicked for some reason. Everyone liked it, and it was sort of based on my Uncle Jimmy, and I'm just playing him because the original one, those glasses are not the original that I have. Those tinted glasses. The real ones from the short were these yellow tinted glasses, kind of like my shooters, but they were square. And I took them from my uncle. They were from the 60s or whatever.
Yeah.
And, he didn't live in his room anymore. And then when I go stay at my grandparents, I'm in Uncle Jimmy's room, and I would just be like messing around with his guns and stuff like that.
I love this. I love chatting with you about your work. I think your work is sensational. I'm a huge fan of your characters, but I'm also interested in you as a person. And my question for you, because here on the Killing Time Experience,
we go deep.
Good.
What's that face?
You're just like,
Be careful what
Dave.
you wish for. I can't go too deep.
I don't
do
want
have
you to go
protect
too
a little
deep.
bit of my
I know.
life. Yeah.
Do you?
I do, yeah. I
Okay,
don't do these. If I want it, yeah.
What, what makes you tick? Like, what means the most to you?
Look, what means the most to me, it doesn't change daily, but it certainly changes in your life, And so right now I'm just trying to get my kids to the finish line. I got a 19-year-old. You start 19 and 17, but one's in college and the other one is 11th grade. So I don't know when, but you also have to go because you have kids and stuff. It's sort of like, where is that finish line? Because it really never ends.
There's no finish line.
At a certain point, there's a certain self-sufficiency that you're going to think.
You've taught him a lot.
But also, what makes you tick? What inspires you? What is the innards of you that kind of keeps that momentum in life? The excitement.
I like to play. I like to be a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I coached the high school lacrosse. I coached sports. I just was snowboarding all day yesterday with my son, but he bailed on me because he ran into two girls from the school. And then they're now
What?
I'm like, he's like, act like you don't know me. I'm like, no, he didn't say that, but yeah, because I went to the bathroom, and next thing you know, I'm looking for him. I go, I'll just go back up to the top, and then I see him getting off, but these were two girls, and they were good snowboarders too, so they just went and did their thing. That was pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cameraman, Jason.
Wow. Jason.
Oh Lord. Oh boy.
We'll come back with it deep.
Walt Disney used to eat here. Howard Hughes used to eat here. All kinds of famous actors still eat here. But yeah.
Dave Sheridan.
What's that?
Okay, Sheridan. Here we go. All
right.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Insulin. Here we go.
Oh, stop.
Just take one extra series.
Let me know when you're on. Oh, we're doing.
I'm wrong.
Oh.
You move. What way to go?
We can't beat them. And I used to right.
You got some good news coming up?
Well, that's always good news.
Did you bring anything? Because here at
wait a
the
minute.
Killing Time
You
Experience,
asked me- yes.
we
Oh,
are
now we
like
want
a
the
show
experience.
and tell. We're show and tell. I might
Yeah.
even pass some stuff around.
Oh.
You know what's kind of funny? It was like on Scary Movie. We are going to reboot Scary Movie.
You don't mind
We're gonna-
Quaaludes, do you?
I love them. They can't.
What are we doing?
What is this?
My mom was big into Quaaludes.
Is this chewing gum though?
No, I know it looks
It's
like
going to kill my
It
diabetes.
looks like
no, we're good. What
it
is
looks like
this?
Big League Chew or
Okay,
something.
It's
so
a
I'm going to
knife.
tell you what it is.
It's a butcher
little,
knife.
Oh.
It's little knives.
I don't know.
It's
Throw me one.
Chucky.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I don't have my reading glasses. I just thought it looked like
hungry.
shards of.
How cute is this?
Glass.
Chucky candies.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
was
it's
a-
just throwing.
Ow, I
Oh
can't-
my
Wow,
gosh.
it's right behind
chucking.
you. It's
Wait.
right behind you.
You're good at knife throwing.
Oh, that is very good.
I
You
think
like
I just
them?
cut my
I
tongue.
enjoy them.
I cut my tongue on it.
Did you see?
They're sharp.
There's one on the couch too.
Don't let the dog get
on the
that.
other side.
Yeah.
Now, you've held a knife.
I've held knives.
So what did you bring
Never
to
a
show
chainsaw
us
yet, I
at
don't
the
think.
Killing Time experience?
Show and tell.
Well, like I said, we are gonna reboot Scary Movie. It'll be Scary Movie 6. I was hoping it'd be out this year, 25.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've been talking to people about, producers and stuff since end of April. And we're like going to March. But there's a reason. Things have shifted and moved around, and there was a Putney Swope kind of thing that happened.
Love that movie.
Yeah.
Thank you for the reference.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
old
yeah,
Robert
yeah.
Altman movie.
Yeah. And so basically, I don't know when we're going to shoot. I don't know anything, but I do know that
But you're in
it's
it.
going to, I'm in it in some form. When I shot Scary Movie,
Yeah.
and it was my first film, and I'm in the Ghostface costume 99% of the time. There's only 2 scenes that I'm not in him, and that's running down the stairs on the wide shot from the piano and getting kicked out. And there's probably other places that the stunt double might have filled in, like an arm here or there, or something that I don't watch it so closely going like, oh, that wasn't me in the background, But for the most part, if I was on set and available, I did the bit. And so I really wanted to keep that stuff,
Sure.
the wardrobe.
Ooh, so what
And
did
the
you
funny
keep?
thing is, on the other end, everyone's like, oh, did you keep the Doofy stuff? I didn't even think to keep the Doofy stuff. I was like, oh, I can put all this together. That stuff was real, like, I don't know how to make that mask. So I got the Was Up mask and the Hero mask. And the Was Up mask I only got because we did a reshoot 6 months later and it involved that. So then when I was in I got to keep the Hero mask, the robe, which is over there, and the knife and gloves.
Where is it?
Well, the mask is over here somewhere, but the robe is there. It's heavy. Yeah. It's too even big,
This is really what you wore?
Yeah, that's the robe, but it's a very heavy robe, which is why I don't travel with it. How heavy is that, Jason? Like 4 pounds?
Wow.
It's like, it's not just like.
Well, when we travel, it's like, here, no, hold it. Hold the thing. That's just the robe. That's kind of heavy,
Yeah,
right?
that is a little
so I'm like,
heavy, yeah. 50 pounds.
I have a lighter one for the photo ops because it's sort of like,
Sure.
you
But
know,
I
you
want to
paid
see it. I want to touch it.
You want to? She wants to touch it.
She's sniffing it.
Hello. She's sniffing it. Oh,
What the
that's a
hell's
little.
going on?
I didn't
Well,
say
because
it.
it's from the movie. I think it's
25
interesting.
years of unclean.
Don't you want to smell it?
No, not really.
Yeah, not
But
really.
I do. That's cool.
It's an experience.
It is an experience. I'll smell
an
his mask.
experience.
This is the robe. That's
That's just the
fascinating.
robe.
That's cool.
Oh,
All right, hold on. Oh my. Ooh.
It's like a heavy
25
canvas.
years.
Yeah.
It's been hidden away in Hemet, California.
Yes. No. It's only been. I'll get to Hemet in a minute because I
okay.
did go pick the stuff up in Hemet. And I got the mask. And so what it was Lee Mays, the producer, he came up and asked me my size at the end of the movie. What size jacket would you be? I'm like, probably a medium. And I go, whoa. Hey, what's that for? He goes, the wrap gift. I go, hey, I really just want to keep the killer stuff. And I go, if I don't take the jacket that you're going to give me, can I have the killer stuff? He goes,
Smart.
Let me go talk to everybody.
Smart.
And those jackets were going to be like $250. So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, we could save $250
Yeah.
and give Dave the Ghostface stuff. And they're like, give it to him. So I didn't get, the one thing is John Abrams, they all have this cool, like, it's like they're in a gang, these
Sure.
cool Letterman jackets with the
But
Ghostface in the back.
However,
I didn't get one.
Having the costume is a bit. So, folks,
Yes.
for all you young actors out there right now that may be lucky enough to get into a good horror movie, any kind of movie, and keep your
Any
costumes
kind of
if you
movie.
can. Ask for that mask,
Yes.
ask for that stuff, ask for a knife, because when you're at the convention signing or they
Yeah.
want to do photo ops with you,
You use them.
you can use them. And
Yeah.
plus, it's a piece of history.
Yeah. And honestly, that one was, I was young and I asked because it's a little obvious.
Yeah.
Most of the other movies I don't even ask because it's usually like a suit or like the Dylan stuff I just kept. You know what I mean? I just kept it.
Well,
But-
you put it together.
Yeah.
So
I usually
You had it.
when I make the stuff like those yellow glasses from
yeah.
Camp Twilight, I have them. I keep all this stuff.
Can
do
I
keep
have
it.
them back,
So I definitely
please?
got on a. It started me on the. I got to keep something from the movie.
Well,
you
let's
know?
Where is the
let's see the
mask?
good
Well, can I
stuff.
say one thing about it though?
can.
So, and now I forgot what I was going to say.
Hammett.
Oh,
You were gonna
here's
say
the.
that.
This was the twist. They let me keep it, but I was like an indentured servant. It wasn't like, yeah, you got that for free. I would get calls from the Weinsteins that like, their cousin's having a bar mitzvah. Can you put it on and make a video? Or, hey, we're doing something. We're having a retirement party for this one exec. Can you put it on and make a video? And I was like, oh my God, I'm making videos for like family members and stuff. I go, this is crazy. So then I had to tell my
Cameo
At
before
least put it
cameo.
on
I was just about to say
cameo.
that cameo before
Cameo
cameo.
before cameo.
And that is why I took the Was Up one, because when we got the Was Up and they said, bring the Ghostface stuff over to, because then we shot this one on Fox lot. The rest of it we shot in Vancouver, but the pickup was in LA. I lived in Marina Del Rey. Bring your Ghostface stuff. Got it. And then they had the other mask, the Was Up mask. So when I was going away and packing, I just went, yeah, this is for all those videos and bar mitzvahs I had to do.
That's hilarious. Where is it?
Let's see it. All right, come on.
The mask.
Let's see the mask.
I know there's Ghostface collectors out there and mask collectors, and no one's really ever nailed this right. You know what I mean? So this is the original
Can I hold
Ghostface mask.
it?
Yeah, it's very delicate though, and there's a reason.
Jason, get the car.
I never really bring it out too much. The only reason it's even still in the shape it's in is because I keep it in sort of like controlled environment with the humidity, and I don't let sunlight hit it. You know, so it's not like it's not.
Here,
I don't have it displayed in my house.
I know, like.
But
nervous.
here, what's one thing you've seen a lot of Ghostface masks?
Yes.
What is one thing that's different about this one?
That's it.
And
The material in the mouth.
you gave it away.
Oh, I didn't know that was it.
Well, I was
mouth.
the mouth. Yeah.
We love this mask.
You going to tell us something special now?
Well, the thing about not being able to reproduce it is because the big difference between any other mask is it has a fabric mouth.
Yes.
And the original, before they made it fabric, so because I did the voice live.
Can you do one line right now?
I'm in the house. You know where I am. I'll get you like a fish. Nice boobs. Like,
What
was another one? Like,
I just got turned on.
Oh, yeah,
what
wait.
he said,
What's up? Yeah. But
do the famous
do you know where I am?
one,
Remember? Or what's your favorite scary movie? Yeah. So I don't know if that's it or not. 'Cause I'm used to bending down and doing
I
it.
love
But either way, that's how low it was. Like, I'm in the house. Do you know where I am? And they're behind that. They were like, what's he saying? Because they mic'd it, but it was like muffled and the boom. So they decided to cut the mouth out so they could mic me better.
Can I feel the eyes?
Yeah. Ow!
Oh, God.
But it lost its form because it was more like that.
Sure.
So it had a little longer mouth to it, but then it stretched because I would put it on and tie it tight because I didn't want it to fall anywhere during all the action scenes.
So
But
what's
from
happening with this
From
mask?
looking at it, though, I've never seen one that looks like this.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've always wanted to make a copy of it to preserve it.
Yeah.
And then technology caught up where they now
3D
have,
printing.
well, they have laser scanners.
Laser scanner.
So we scanned it a bunch of different times, and then it takes an amalgamation of different angles, and then it makes the perfect exact thing with all the little like ripples, any this little like notch right
So
there.
they'll be out for sale? What's the website we can get it at?
If you're interested in pre-orders, it's Was Up Merch with 2 Z's. Was Up Merch.
WAZZUP.
Merch
at
gmail.com. No, at gmail.com.
gmail.com.
And email us, and then
Oh,
they'll get in touch with you, and they'll do the pre-orders
Beautiful.
because they will be available at Monster Palooza. Is what it's
Wow.
called. There's so many monster things.
Monster
Expo, Monster
Palooza.
Mania.
Go see
Pasadena.
Dave
Yeah.
Sheridan at the end of
Monsterpalooza,
May.
End of May. We'll be there. Available for purchase, but that's really where we're going to do the deliveries
That's great.
of the thing. It's a knife too.
Yeah.
And I did that.
Can I see?
Yeah.
Does anyone remember me
Yeah.
doing this?
Yes, I do.
That was for my brother. I shake something in every movie for my brother. Yeah, it's a long story.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
You shake for your brother?
Yeah, because we go to the movies all the time. And then the movie started and he was going to get popcorn. He's sitting here. He goes, you want anything? I go, yeah. Do you know what I like in movies?
Popcorn?
Junior mints. No, I like junior
Oh, I
mints.
didn't know that.
They give me some junior mints. So he walked out, got the thing. It's the movie starting, and walks past the aisle and he's watching, and he's going past people, and he sits down, and then he turns to give me the candy, and I'm like, loser! And I'm 2 rows back. And then he holds up the junior mints, he goes, and he shakes it, and he eats them. And I'm like, maybe I'm the loser. So I do that.
So I quickly put up on Instagrams, the good old grams, asking if anybody had a question for you. And there is one question. There's one question from a Hoffman's _girl. What is your craziest or weirdest experience with a fan? P.S. Lots of love. Lots of love your guys' way. Heart.
Man, craziest experience with a fan.
Wow.
Okay, this is an easy one. There was a kid named. You met him in Pittsburgh, but he was much older. I met him when he was like 6 years old or something. Then 10 years later, he's 17 or 18. I'm good at math. And he made me like an 8-foot knife. He made me an 8-foot knife. And this was in Virginia Beach, Blood at the Beach. Right? And he made me an 8-foot knife. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great.
That's not scary at all.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how the hell am I getting this back?
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't. And I was like, what do I do with this knife? So I shoved it underneath the bed at the hotel I was staying
Oh,
at.
no.
Way up there. And I'm thinking like, okay, how long will it take someone to discover this giant knife? And what will they think? You know what I mean? So
That's crazy.
So I wish I kept
You've
the
had
knife,
some
but I
really cool
couldn't.
things, like even your banner is the big sheet that says Doofy
Yeah.
that was made by
Matthew,
someone who
Matthew.
came.
Yes, I've
to
tried
New
to
Jersey.
copy that. It's not the same thing.
Matthew.
Yeah, listen. So, folks, if you're out there and you get a chance to at a convention to see Dave,
We're going out, right?
We're going out. He's a cool guy. Yeah, there he
Stinks in
goes.
here. I haven't
Wow,
worn this in years.
smell
Does
that
it
thing.
smell?
Nah.
But we appreciate you
It's
coming on.
tight,
Our
though.
first guest,
Tight.
Felissa.
Our first guest on the
what she said.
Killin' Time Experience.
So who knows who's going to be next, but we'll see you soon. That's Felissa Rose. I am the Big Schwag. Jason is the man that puts
I'm
it all
here.
together. And of course, this guy,
What's up?
Dave Sheridan.
I'm out of the house. Do you know where I am?